Gareth, good to speak to you. So we're building up to a first T20 Blast quarterfinal since 2017 for Surrey, and a chance to reach finals day in this competition for the first time since 2014. What's the mood like generally?
Pretty good. We've had a good campaign so far. Vikram Solanki has taken over as head coach and given us some real good plans, real defined roles for people, and every single person in that changing room has contributed up to this stage. So we just hope for more going into the quarter-final.
And what is the key to this winning streak? Because I remember being here for the first of those wins against Hampshire, the rain-affected game. If I told you after that you get 6 more plus 1 in a first-class game as well, you probably would have ripped my arm off.
At that point, probably. It sort of started from the first game at Hove, if I'm honest. We had a lot of injuries and a lot of young men came in, and it was rain affected, but we really had them by the scruff of the neck in the game, and we were playing really good cricket, and I think a bit of belief came in, and then obviously we got over the line against Hampshire. And I go back to the definitive roles for people, and they know what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, they know their skill sets. We're not asking anybody to go outside the realms of what they can do. And we're really gelling as a group. I think it's a really good formula. And obviously, make no mistake, having somebody like a Jason Roy back last game and doing what he does with 17, not very many balls, is obviously a massive boost.
You've got such a balanced team with players with lots of different profiles. You've got your sort of international class, the likes of Jason Roy, Hashim Amla, of course. And then you've got, T20 specialists. You've got people like Laurie Evans. You've got all-rounders who can clear the ropes like Jamie Overton, Liam Plunkett as well. And then you've got those young talents. I mean, tell us a little bit about your relationship, particularly with Dan Moriarty, but I'm guessing you probably would have done a little bit of mentoring with Will Jacks as well, tweaking it. So just how has that developed over the season?
I think that's the beauty of where we're at as a squad at the minute. The old players are trying to help the young players. Obviously, my role's a little bit skewed at times, being a player and a coach. But Dan, we did some work before lockdown, and it was basically just changing some angles for him, not changing an awful lot in his action. And he's really reaped the rewards. He's been magnificent in red ball, and he's churned up white ball cricket as well. He really has set the county scene alight for a young spinner. And Will Jacks, he's been getting better and better by the year. We look at his batting first because he's a wonderful talent. Wow, England picking him in that ODI initial was not a mistake. This guy is going to be something very special. And his bowling is coming on brilliant. He's understanding a little bit of the subtleties of bowling spin, and he's marrying it up with a very good cricket brain with his batting as well. So they've both done really well.
And you look also at a player like Gus Atkinson, who had to hit the winning runs at Chelmsford. I mean, he was under huge pressure. He had Laurie Evans with him, of course, but it seems like those players are going through little baptisms of fire every so often. Would you say that's, that they're passing with flying colours every time?
Yeah, I mean, Gus after that game, he sort of came in cool as a cucumber, not even flustered at all. And we sort of said, why no massive celebration, Gus? He said, well, does a postman celebrate when he puts his letter through the box? He's just unflustered, he knows his job, he's a smashing kid, and it's brilliant that he's come through our system and really putting his hand up on big occasions.
Obviously, you didn't play in the last game, Gareth, but you did make your contributions earlier in the tournament. Given that it's the same opponents, how does that change in anything the preparations for this game?
We've got to box smart. Obviously, our plan A worked the last game, so we have to understand that they may know that. And they may come at us slightly differently, so we have to have a plan B and a plan C, and we have to be able to adapt on the field. But basically, we ain't going to be too far away from that. We're just going to hopefully do our skills 1% better. We're going to scrap for every single, and we'll see where we get at the end of it.
You mentioned about there being very defined roles, something that Vikram Solanki helped you establish earlier this season. But what about the versatility of your players? I mean, you've got, a number of players who offer both bat and ball, but also, you've got players who can adapt their styles when they look at the conditions or they look at the game scenario. That's an important element as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that does come down to the role clarity. People know their skill sets. So if you're somebody that whacks it out of the ground, we want you to do that. We're going to encourage you to do that. And if you get out doing it, there are no repercussions. If you're somebody that's a sweeper and you get out first ball having a lap at a spin, that's fine. That's your skill set. So I think then it's a case of them marrying up your matchups with the opposition, which Vikram's brilliant at. He misses, no stone is unturned, as it were.
Yeah.
And we're pretty confident in what we can achieve as individuals, which then comes together as a pretty good team effort so far.
And I guess just having the options now, you say everyone is delivering. It must be very difficult making the selections because, everyone's put their case forward. And now when you've got that squad of 13, 14, maybe even 15, it's difficult to know who you're going to leave out.
Yeah, I think it is. We've got like a bit of a practice game today, and there's like 20 odd on the roster who are fit now. So luckily that's above my pay grade, and I won't get too involved in that.
And just finally, what would it mean to reach a final stage? It's been 6 years, maybe even say it quietly, go on and win the thing first time since 2003? Have you thought about it even?
No, we're taking each game as it comes, but obviously to get there would be a pretty good thing for the club, a pretty amazing thing. To win it is kind of what the club has to be about. We're a pretty big establishment here, and we strive for trophies. And we've had some success in recent past in red ball cricket, but we need to be successful in all forms. So it's a big thing. It's what we expect in the change room, but it's about delivering on the field, and hopefully we can go out there and play a good game of cricket against Kent. They play well, but hopefully we get over the line.
Fantastic. Gareth, go well. Thank you.
Thank you.